2012, I was 5 years into my aviation career. I had experience, I had skills, but I was stuck. I was working on aircraft, but I couldn't sign off my own work on November registered aircrafts. And here's the thing nobody told me when I studied. Roughly 42% of the world's aircraft are registered in the United States. That's over 46,000 aircraft flying under the November registration. At Avianca, where I started my career, the vast majority of the fleet was November registered. So without those three letters, A&P, I was limited. I couldn't release aircraft in different cities where the company didn't have a base or the rights to do it. I couldn't travel. I couldn't access the opportunities that were right in front of me. So I made a decision. I was going to get my FAA airframe and power plant license. And today I'm going to show you how you can do it too. What's up everyone, it's Angel, welcome back to the channel. If you watched my last video, you know I disappeared for a while to get my AME license here in Canada. But before Canada, before the M1 and M2, there was another license that changed my life. The FAA airframe and power plant. I got mine in 2012. At that point, I already had 5 years of experience, but the requirement was only 3. I had more than enough hours turning wrenches. What I didn't have was the piece of paper that say that I could sign off my own work on American registered aircraft. This video is for everyone who has asked me, Angel, how do I get my A&P? Whether you are a mechanic in Latin America, Europe, Asia, Africa, or the Middle East, this is your roadmap. Let me give you some context. As I said before, the United States has the largest aircraft registry in the world. We are talking about 42% of all registered aircraft globally. The next closest is China at around 5%. What does it mean for you as a mechanic, as an aircraft mechanic? It means that if you want to work on a huge portion of the world's fleet, especially in commercial aviation, cargo, corporate jets, you need to be able to legally sign off maintenance on November registered aircraft. And to do that, you need an A&P license. Period. When I was at Avianca, most of our fleet was November registered. Without the A&P, I couldn't release the aircraft after maintenance. I couldn't certify my own work. I was dependent on someone else's signature. Getting that license changed everything. It opened doors to travel, different countries, different cities. It came with good per diems, extra bonuses, and a level of respect that I hadn't had before. It was the first big step in my international career. So you have 3 pathways, all right? Let's get into the practical stuff. The FAA gives you 3 ways to qualify for your A&P under the 14 CFR Part 65. The pathway 1 is the Part 147 A&P school. This is the most straightforward route. You attend an FAA approved aviation maintenance technician school, typically 18 to 24 months. And when you graduate, the school signs you up to take the exams, clean and simple. If you are young and just starting out, this is probably your best option. Structured training, hands-on experience, a clear path to the exam room. But it's expensive. We're talking about 15,000 to 30,000 or more in tuition. The pathway 2 is military experience. If you serve in the armed forces and work on aircraft, you may already qualify. The FAA accepts military training and experience. You'll need your DD Form 214, training certificates, and job history. Submit it to your local FSDO, Flight Standard District Office, and if it checks out, they will authorize you to test. I met guys who came out of the Air Force or Navy and had their A&P within a couple of months. And the pathway 3, practical experience, the 30-month route. This is the path that I took, and it's the most international mechanics will use under FAR or FAR 65.77. If you can document 30 months of practical experience working on airframes, power plants, you can qualify to seek for the exams without going to school. That sounds awesome, right? I had 5 years of experience when I applied. The requirement was only 3. But here's the catch. You have to prove it. Unique documentation, logbooks, employer letters, company letterhead, of course, training records, work orders. The FSDO will review everything. Some inspectors are great, some will make you jump through hoops. The key is being organized. Keep everything, every certificate, every letter, every record. But let me tell you something. Sometimes the inspector just need the letter, the job letter that demonstrates your experience and a good interview, because when you are asking for or requesting permission to test the examinations or to take the examinations, you will need to go to an interview with the FAA inspector. Okay, after the interview, I will speak more about the interview in a future video, because you need to be ready, right? And it's the first contact with an inspector. So once you are authorized to test, you face 3 written knowledge exams. The first one is general. You will be evaluated in basic science, math, regulations, documentation, materials. The second one is airframe. It covers structures, sheet metal, composites, hydraulics, landing gear, electrical instruments, and the last one, power plant. That covers reciprocating engines, turbine engines, propeller, ignition, fuel systems. And one of these exams, to pass one of these exams, you need to score more than 70%. Now, 70% sounds easy, but it's not. The questions bands are large, and some questions are designed to trick you. They test whether you actually understand the material, but if you prepare yourself, it shouldn't be difficult. My advice is use a test prep app like Preware by ASA. They give you access to the actual question bands. When I was preparing myself, I treated it like a daily habit. 30 or 1 hour in the morning, 30 minutes at night, within weeks. I was scoring consistently in the 80s or 90s. You take this an FAA approved testing center, PSI centers. Each exam costs about $175 US. Budget roughly $525 to $600 for all 3. And here is an important detail. Once you pass a written exam, that result is valid for 24 months. Don't drag it out. Get them done within a reasonable window. Okay, after that comes the oral and practice test. The writtens are just the warm-up. The real test is the oral and practice. You take this with a designated mechanic examiner or DME. This person will sit you down face to face and ask you questions. Then they will have you demonstrate hands-on tasks. There are 3 oral and practice sections matching the writtens: the general, airframe, and power plant. Each has an oral portion and a practical portion. The oral is like a verbal exam. The DME asks about systems, regulations, procedures, troubleshooting. You need to answer clearly and confidently. It's not about memorizing a textbook. It's about showing you understand how things work and why. But let me tell you that sometimes memorize some stuff can help you. The practicals enhance check meter repair, safety wire, troubleshooting, ignition systems, for example, rigging, flight control, real world stuff. If you have been working on aircraft, you have done most of this before. The trick is doing it calmly under pressure. Here is what I learned. The DME is not trying to fail you. They want to see that you are competent and safe. If you don't know something, don't guess. Say you look it up in the maintenance manual. That's the right answer. The oral practice test costs between 500 and 1000 depending on the examiner. Book early, good DMEs fill up fast. What the A&P did for me. Let me tell you what this license actually meant for my life. That opened doors. I started traveling different countries, different cities. The per diems were good. The bonuses were real. I was making money that I hadn't seen before, and I was doing it because I had the right credential. More than money, or more than the money, it gave me freedom, more skills, and an additional language. Freedom to work anywhere and register aircraft operate. And remember, as of 2020, the United States alone has over 46,000 registered aircraft. That's roughly 42% of the global fleet in accordance with World Population Review. If you're a mechanic in another country right now, working long hours, high stress, low pay, I need you to hear this. The A&P could be your ticket to a different life. I'm not saying it's easy, I am saying it's worth it. If you are organized and motivated, the experience route can take 3 to 6 months, from gathering documents to holding your certificate. I have seen people do it faster. I have seen people drag it out over a year because they procrastinated on paperwork. Don't be that person. And finally, here are my top 5 tips before you go. First, start your documentation now. Even if you are not planning to move to the United States, collect training records, employment letters, logbooks. Future you will thank present you. Second, find a good DME early. Don't wait until you have passed your written examinations. Research examiners, read reviews as in forums and Facebook groups. 3. Study every single day, even 20 minutes. Consistency beats cramming. 4. Connect with the community. There are Facebook groups, Reddit threads, Discord servers full of people who have been through this. Learn from their mistakes. And 5. Don't let fear stop you. The process looks intimidating from the outside, but once you start moving, momentum takes over, one step at a time. Remember, I made this channel because I wish someone had laid all this out for me when I was starting. No gatekeeping, no back advice, just a clear roadmap from someone who has actually done it. If this video helped you in some way, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the bell. Drop a comment below. Where are you in your A&P journey? Just starting for writtens, about to take your oral practice? I read every comment. I am putting together resources, study guides, documentation, checklists, FSDO tips. Check the first link in the description. Until next time, stay safe, stay sharp, and keep turning wrenches. See you later.